What you see is what you get.
WFNG.
Fly nerds. You see it and say it. Yeah, you see black excellence and intelligence we now combine. Fly nerds on the verge of connecting the minds. North, south, east, west over digital lines. Catalogs of the culture inside. Seen it with our own eyes. We done been through the trends and phases. The names and the legacy, the changing faces. We can't talk shop, only dealing the truth. You tuning in to the Fly Nerd group, so let the people's in. Yeah.
WFNG.
FNG.
Fly Nerd Radio.
Yeah, so let the people in.
WFNG. Fly Nerd Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, all fly nerd and nerdettes, you are now in tune to
the new and improved, commercially marketable Avengers.
in the universe. WFNG Fly Nerd Radio.
Ha. Ha.
Cannons
To the left.
Cannons
To the right. Yeah. That's this. Yeah.
What? Go ahead.
The new and improved
New and improved
WFNG.
WFNG, marketable WFNG radio, Fly Nerd Radio. We are the Fly Nerd Group. We are your tour guides for this Black cultural experience. Talk about the greats and the not so greats of the culture, hip hop, comic book, movies, you name it. We are here to explain it. And yeah, man. Cosmo Galactus, I'm the Void.
I am the inner demon of asymmetrical darkness that is inside of each and every one of you, waiting to manifest through a power unlocked through some unknown trigger that occurs in everyday life.
Jeesh, that's dark.
I am the Almighty Saint, light and shadow are my friends because I emanate one and I project the other.
Andy Warhol, y'all. We are the Fly Nerd Group. And man, just off the high trip of
Bob.
his latest feature we're going to focus on today. Before we get into that, you know, I want to talk my shit, of course. You know,
Talk it. Walk it like I
we saw the latest Marvel installment, Thunderbolts, and we're going to talk about that real quick. But first, you know, I noticed, you know, a lot of talkity talk, you know. The MCU is back. Oh my gosh. Oh. We back on track. The MCU is back. All this slanted marketing beforehand. And it's like, come on, fam. Y'all really didn't like Captain America 4? Y'all didn't like Wakanda Forever? You didn't like Guardians 3? You didn't like Daredevil? We was just off Daredevil, bro. Like, seriously. So, I'm not with the hype train.
Yeah, you know my philosophy.
Time. So, you know, and even with this movie, I didn't have too many excitement for it, you know, because I just wasn't excited for it. I didn't see anything that was worth to be excited about. But yeah, we'll get into the movie. And it was up to the movie to change my mind, you know what I mean? And we'll get into the movie and see if it did.
Well, I have a certain philosophy that I've held on to for a long time. It specifically applied to music and hip hop, and these passive, I call them pseudo fans. These are outsiders, and the comments that they always make whenever a certain artist drops a song. Oh, hip hop is back.
Yeah, that shit.
You know,
yeah.
And it's just the same thing. The people that are saying Marvel is back, these are not actual Marvel fans. These are not people who are actually, they're not into the actual characterization of these people portrayed on film. They're not into the comic books. They're not into the action figures. They're not into the animations. They don't give a fuck about none of that. It's something to jump onto, like you say, it's a bandwagon. and it's
Yeah.
something to talk about to make you relevant and to give you some sense of connection to other people and some form
Right.
of, it's a false identity because it's not really who they are. They don't really care about Marvel. So when Marvel doesn't have a movie out, oh, Marvel, what's going on?
Fell
But as
off.
soon as a
Oh,
movie
they
come out,
fell
oh, I love
off.
Marvel.
And don't get me wrong, they made some blunders and shit like that too. They made some mids. They made some movies that was just okay and shit too. So, they've been under fire as well. And I get that, but, you know, I don't know. It's just weird because, Captain America 4, Brave New World, everyone just said it was mid movie. It's just mid. But dude, he about to lead this next shit. Like y'all like it or not. He's
Hey,
he's he's Captain America and he's gonna lead to this shit. So you can't just like sweep him under the rug and shit.
man,
You
what
know
you
what I
saying? You
mean?
saying a
Like,
black man is about to lead?
yeah. Oh, oh.
What?
So the
What?
MCU isn't back when the leader is black,
Nah,
huh?
nah. You got what they used to say about the 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 way Superman makes white men feel.
Right.
He's an
Right.
alien. He's not technically a Caucasian.
Exactly.
He
But
has
he
pale
give them
skin,
this
but he gives them a
weird
sense of empowerment. It's
energy, a sense of
us.
hope.
It's
Yeah.
us.
Yep. Yep.
And so that was the whole big problem with Captain America. Just like when Anthony Mackie clarified very clearly, hey, Captain America is not a representative of American values. And I representing this
Right.
Captain America, playing this Captain America, I'm not playing Captain America from the angle of a person who loves the American way.
Right.
And everybody we got up in arms. But this is exactly what Chris Evans has said when he played Captain America. Very, very,
Hmm.
very same track. And it's also the very true, it's true to the character of Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers was not of American politics. He was not for the American process. He did not believe
Exactly.
in the American way as it was presented by the American government. He did
Right.
not support it. And all the movies reflected that, and the comic books reflected that. Steve was 100% in every scenario on the opposite side of the government when it came to registration,
Right.
superhuman
Right.
registration. He
He
never
wasn't
stood
with
for
the
America.
old systematic okie doke.
Nah,
You
he
know.
wasn't for that. He was a very idealistic man who became Captain America. And when he had those ideals put to the test, he saw them fail.
And he have his own morals and principles and
Hmm.
guidelines that he go through that makes him not only a man but a great leader. You know what I
Correct.
mean? So, these are the same elements that's applied in this. Then Anthony Mackie said something about, raising his children in his household. And people got all up in their wigs about that. He raising his own children. Like,
Yeah,
y'all
like
tripping?
raise your children. Maybe they won't be outside doing what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like worried about what he doing. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like
His
you
own
find
children.
every single thing wrong with the person that plays him, the movie
Exactly.
itself, and
Yeah.
then it all comes down to the one thing: black man leading, black man in a role that for them means something like Superman means. It's only Steve Rogers, but the same thing happened in the comics. And one thing I do appreciate about the current Marvel trajectory, everybody want to holler woke, but the truth of the matter is that there are some experiences that are being mirrored in these series and in these movies that you just got to shut up and take that experience because when he takes on the moniker of Captain America and in the movies, well, in his series, he got shitted on. He got challenged
Hmm.
for being a black man trying to be Captain America. And then he quickly got, usurped by a white man who they tried to make Captain America, who proved that he could not do it and it wasn't easy to be
Yep.
in the form of,
Yep.
Mr. Walker,
Mr.
Captain Walker.
Walker, U.S. agent.
Yeah, U.S. agent. So, he went through all the trials of what you would expect for a black man to be put in that position to go through. He even had the brothers to his side, trying to talk to him. He had Isaiah
Hmm.
Bradley. He had Rhodes who pulled up on him like, hey, bro,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. He even had his
What you
homie
doing? Why you ain't got the
Bucky.
shield, man?
Bucky pulled up on him like, yo, he gave you that shield. He didn't
Yeah,
give it to
yeah.
me because
Everyone's
I'm
saying the
fucking
same
crazy, all
shit.
right? And then what did the government do? Go and get a shield to another crazy white guy.
And there you have it.
You know?
So, that leads us into that's Captain America Winter Soldier. So
Yeah,
that was the introduction of Bucky, and you know,
they're post
nah, not
Rogers.
Bucky, but Roger. I mean
Yeah,
Walker. Excuse me.
yeah, Walker. The post Rogers era of the Captain America journey.
After Endgame, right?
Yep,
So yeah, man, that's a great series. That was
it
a
was.
super sleeper. Actually, Zemo was in that
Zemo
series
introduced
as
into that
well.
too. Well, actually
Yeah,
continued in that.
yeah, he
Continued in
continued
that
from Civil
from Civil
War,
War.
Captain
Yeah,
America, another Captain America movie.
exactly.
So this is streamlining of the Captain America shit, and then we get into Bucky
Yet again,
joining the
Bucky and Walker. Bucky
and
and
Walker
back
and
again.
Yelena and Ghost
Ghost.
and forgettable character.
Forgettable that nobody cares about, so we don't need to
Nobody
say.
cared. And the Red Guardian, Red
Red
Guardian,
Guardian.
and Val. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Val
This is
Fontaine.
DeFontaine. You say the whole
DeFontaine.
thing
Yeah,
like
so
a
you got
Tribe
to
Called Quest. You know what I
DeFontaine.
mean? You gotta say the whole thing. So yeah, we lead into the Thunderbolts. So all right, based off of that tread, um, we get into this movie. So, but before we get into the movie, I want to
Let's
nerd
talk
out a little bit, and we could talk about who the Thunderbolts are, comic
who
book
they were
history
originally
wise,
too.
and
Yeah.
then break down some of the characters and stuff in there. So get into it, Amy. The road is
Well,
yours.
let's start with the basics. So, from a film and a movie going perspective, a lot of people thought the Thunderbolts were very much like the Suicide Squad.
Right, right,
Just a bunch of like rejects who are put on these missions and not expected to survive. But that is not the nature and the basis of the Thunderbolts. The
okay,
Thunderbolts very much were a team that came together, similar to what's happening in the movie with DeFontaine. They're there to fill a void in heroes. Fill a void. They're here to to fill a void in the lack of heroes. There weren't enough heroes to go around at a particular point in time, and certain people, and you can go through a bunch of iterations with the Thunderbolts. So you've got the Thunderbolts in the form of Thunderbolt Ross. You've got the Thunderbolts in the form of Baron Zemo's version of the team. And in all of these iterations, it basically comes down to similar to this movie. There's a group of people who come together and say, "Look, we got to do things our way. Fuck this way. That don't work. That hero shit is not necessarily our path, but we need to do things to support and win in spaces that deserve all defense." So the Thunderbolts are that type of team. They come together to face things that other people don't want to deal with.
and they don't do it like you said the conventional way. So
No.
it could be guns blazing. We don't
Yeah,
care.
they're like Black Ops Avengers.
Yeah, Black Ops
They're
Avengers.
Black
I
Ops
love it.
Avengers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
go
yeah.
they go and they get their hands dirty, and they have their teams in the comics consisted of a lot of different people. Like I say, my favorite of the Thunderbolts was Baron Zemo.
Baron Zemo.
I
Yeah,
loved
that's my
Baron Zemo on the
favorite.
Thunderbolts. I loved Red Hulk on the
Yeah,
Thunderbolts. You know,
Thunderbolt because it's Thunderbolt Ross, so it was
yeah,
named under
exactly.
him originally, right?
Yeah, the naming convention actually comes from his nickname. If people remember Ross's nickname and his call sign as a soldier was Thunderbolt,
Hmm.
because of the anger, I guess. I don't know. But like what I'm saying, but we saw that Thunderbolt Ross throughout the series, he went from being the Hulk chaser, the Hulk buster, to
Hmm.
himself having heart conditions to where he became a politician. He found other ways to try to fight his fight. And then we get to the Captain America movie where he's post heart attack. He hasn't
Right,
spoken to his daughter since fucking Incredible Hulk, I guess. I don't know.
right.
Betty been gone. And so he's trying to be himself. But that was the comics. The same guy went through these iterations and decided that, fine, I'll do it myself. And he injected
Hmm.
himself in the comics with blood of Banner, the
Yeah,
typical trope. I'll do it myself. So he became
I'll
a
do it
Hulk.
myself.
The cool thing about him in the comics, when decides to do this, and then he, forms a team and he becomes the guy. Red Hulk is still Ross.
Right.
It's like
Right.
it's like he's not a changed personality. And then the angrier he gets, the hotter he gets.
Right. Yeah.
But when he's in his controlled state, he's wearing clothes. He got military gear on. He got
he's
big ass
chilling.
guns
Yeah,
and
he's still
shit.
a general. Yeah,
He's
still
General
doing
Ross.
his
He's just a
man's
Red
work.
Hulk.
He's just Red Hulk.
But the Thunderbolts was the team that consisted of those type of people who definitely would not be on the Avengers.
Right. Like,
The Avengers proper, I'll say.
Yeah, it's a huge list, man.
Yeah, it's been a lot of.
Taskmaster.
Yeah.
The real Taskmaster was on there. Luke Cage. You had Black
Yep.
Widow. You had Hawkeye, Red Hulk, Songbird, Winter Soldier, Batroc the Leaper, Beetle, Blizzard, Norman Osborne, which I'll get into that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, U.S. Agent, Venom. Yeah, Scourge.
They've had a lot of different iterations.
List of characters that was part of the.
They're very much like X-Force,
Yeah, so they're the side team, but they get the job done, and those the ones that go in. You don't see them, the Avengers be outside getting all of the look and everything.
Yeah,
Let's
they're the
stop
press.
them.
They get the press.
Yeah, yep, they get the press, but this team,
they did the dirty work.
They do all the dirty work. So let's get into it, man.
There's a lot behind these characters in the story. So let's talk about what led up to this. So we know Falcon and Winter Soldier, leading back to Captain America, Civil War, leads to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is a continuation of Bucky's journey.
Right.
This is a continuation of Yelena's journey from Black Widow. We discovered her in the Black Widow movie. That's when we first meet her, and she's like the surrogate little sister of Natasha, as well as the surrogate daughter of Red Guardian.
Okay.
So her journey is she was a Black Widow. She was from the Red Room.
She was from the Red Room, and then she was an agent, and she was
one of the top agents.
Covert ops shit, you know what I mean, on the side, and this was kind of like the family hustle.
Yeah, apparently, because they was outside. They was murking people. They was good.
They was getting work.
So, and then she did hunt Hawkeye too, and
she hunted
Hawkeye in the Hawkeye series.
Kate Bishop and they had that encounter too. So for me, when I first saw Yelena, I really fuck with her. I actually like her better than Natasha, and just in the terms of the MCU, I didn't like what they did to Natasha all the time. You know what I mean? Or they felt like they couldn't figure out exactly what to do with her until like Civil War and all those movies started. She had a little bit placement of where you could put her.
She had more value.
Yeah, more value. Because it was I think it was in Avengers 2. I don't know. I think they was trying to.
They was feminine
side piece.
Well, like
you gotta. She was flirting with Hulk, and then she started flirting with Captain America, and then Captain America's talking to Banner like, yeah,
Well, she had already been flirting with Captain America in the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. There you go. So it was kind of more of that, man. And It was cool, but
it wasn't what you wanted from Black Widow.
I want to see Black Widow. So then when Yelena came on the scene, she doing Black Widow work.
All she do is Black Widow shit.
Yeah.
That's all she do. There's nothing but assassinations and ass whooping from her. There's no middle ground. She ain't got time for nothing else.
She's taking you down and tying you up.
And casually, like not even like breaking a sweat, like which is how Natasha came in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Yep. Natasha came in and ass whooping like calmly, boom, 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 boom.
Very calm, very real, dope, and swift too. Real sweet and swift, and she'll take you down, and then that'll be it. Off to the next room and shit. And the Yelena works the same way, man. She'll take that whole room
systematically
and be easy. Like, all right, what else?
Yeah, what else you got?
With her charm too, she's a little bit more charming too, and a little bit more funny and just more brutal with her approach and character. So Yelena, I was always a fan of when I first saw her, and just opening the door for the new for the new age of these heroes and shit. Anyway, so
New heroes,
like
huh?
you said, gotta take it how it comes.
Filling
And,
up the
so
these,
far, I'm fucking with it.
these new heroes are filling the void.
They fill in the void. They fill in the void. Now, let's get into Val because she's kind of like
She's the newcomer to the series.
Yeah.
She was popping in here and there in these end
she was
credit
in
scenes.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
She was in
She was in
what
a
else
few
she
other
was
little
in?
iterations. Well, she was in
Yeah.
Captain America, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Absolutely, she was.
You
Yeah,
know, the whole
because she
Madripoor
recruited,
aspects too.
She recruited U.S. agent.
Yeah,
So,
she's
yeah,
responsible for a U.S. agent at the end when after he failed as Captain America.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is he even called U.S. agent? So I'm trying to think because he never once he lost Captain America. Now they just call him Captain
They
Walker.
call him Walker.
Because U.S. agent wouldn't be a name that they would actually call you.
I'm trying to see if they called him that in the beginning of Captain America Winter Soldier. They called him Captain America. Like remember
He
that
came
TV
in as Captain
broadcast?
America.
Okay, so he
We-
came in as Captain America.
Yeah,
they never called him U.S. agent. That's what we call him.
Yeah, we know him as U.S. agent from the comics.
Yeah.
But Walker
He got the pistola and the shield. He pop, pop, pop.
Right. That's all you remember is like this guy came in like fighting. But nah, like
Come on,
yeah,
man.
but she recruited him. We thought she was recruiting other people like slowly. I figured that she would have tried to recruit Zemo, but Zemo ain't going. This version
So
is
that
Zemo.
was my problem. I didn't want to get into that at the top of the show, but that was one of my issues that the Zemo wasn't even involved, But I had talked to Risky. Shout out to DJ Risky Biz. He was like, "Man, this team wasn't for him."
This ain't the team. No, this ain't his team. We
Yeah.
know what this team is,
Yeah.
which means the Thunderbolts are left to become Thunderbolts that we know.
Gotcha.
The name now is out there. And
so when he was running it in the comics, were they kind of like more
They were-
evil or more reckless? In a way?
reckless is a word. There's another word that comes to mind that would be kind of anti-establishment.
Okay.
They weren't doing things. Again, it's a very thin line when you understand Marvel versus like the tradition of what people think the Avengers are. The Avengers themselves are heroes, but they're not fighting for America. They're not
The
fighting.
American way.
They're not fighting for none of that shit. The Avengers are fighting because motherfuckers gonna die if they don't.
Yeah, that's
It don't matter. Like even in the movies, it kind of presented. Yeah, they was in New York the first time, but the second time the movie comes in and the last scene is in Sokovia.
Sokovia. Yep.
They ain't give a fuck. It had nothing to do with America. It had to do with the whole
Yeah.
planet. The Avengers fight for the
Right.
planet.
And then that's what made them do the whole
Accord.
set up some rules and boundaries. Like you guys going out here and just fighting and doing whatever,
Crossing
without
all
any
types of
jurisdiction.
boundaries and borders
Yeah.
and treaties and shit. Like we're not
But
Americans.
they're saving the world. They got Ultron, nigga. You gonna stop Ultron? Go
Right. Did you
ahead.
have a solution? Right. Like, what are you gonna do? So, like, there's all these gray areas to me that these characters are filling because Winter Soldier is very much his journey ended in terms of his dark side. Like he finally found himself, went to therapy, and that was what the Winter Soldier aspects of Falcon and Winter Soldier were about. It was
Right.
about him coming to terms with his past, him closing the book, literally and metaphorically, the book that he was, the words were in. He closed that book. You can't use them words no more, fam.
Applesauce.
Hell no.
Beach.
So yeah, but all of the rest of them, like Ghost Journey, for example.
Mm,
Ghost was a victim.
right.
Ghost was a victim of some science gone awry.
Right.
And she was pissed because Pym and crew didn't do anything about it. So she went after them like, y'all
So she-
motherfuckers,
yeah.
what the fuck? Like, this is because of you.
You're right. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing. You just sweep me on. Okay, I'll show you.
Yeah, I come after you, nigga. So now,
Show you.
so she's been through her journey, and towards the end of that Ant-Man movie, she kind of, they agreed to help her.
Right.
And the only way to help her ultimately is to just make better technology.
Yeah, because there ain't nothing else. Phasing is a real.
Yeah. I mean, like
Real
she's
hard
gonna
work.
cease to, her atoms are gonna disperse.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to exist no more. So
Yeah,
Pym made a
crazy.
better suit for her, and that's the suit that she obviously uses now. Now, what she's been doing since then, I assume we don't know. We
Maybe
don't
some
know.
stealing, maybe some
Maybe,
killing, maybe
yeah,
some hitman work.
maybe some. I mean, she got some skills, so clearly she's been making some money.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I
and
mean, I
and
know she could at least still she could phase through the walls and really get into places where the average can't with no camera surveillance as well. Yeah, you doing a lot of infiltration. So she was
yeah.
probably getting busy on the low,
Well,
like
yeah, all these people are working for DeFontaine. That's also the thing you got to understand.
exactly.
They were all
Exactly.
doing dirty work behind the scenes. DeFontaine, while she is a high-ranking, somehow political figure, somehow she got power.
Well, she was walking around, the offices. She was in Captain America and Winter Soldier. She was I think in Wakanda Forever and shit. She was
Yeah,
talking
she's
to the agent and
everywhere.
shit like that. She had a
Yeah.
relationship with dude, and she was just in she was in
I
high
don't know if she's
places.
the boss of CIA or what. Like they've never
But
actually
see, this is
said.
the thing, the company she worked for is called Oxcorp,
Yeah.
and that's a switch from Oscorp that was originally in the comic books, of course. So I don't know. I don't think if the MCU's ready for the Harvey, what's his name, Oswald, Norman Oswald,
Yeah.
yeah, to come
Osborne.
in. Osborne,
Oswald
excuse me,
is Penguin.
is Penguin, yeah, Osborne, Norman Osborne. Excuse me. Um, so I don't think he's coming in. So she's playing this role now,
Yeah,
and
she's filling that space for now.
for now,
Because
for
she's
now,
not going to be able to do everything that Norman Osborn did, and we'll get to that because we'll as we get through this talk, we'll get to how the differences between what Norman Osborn did and what
hmm
DeFontaine is doing. But
okay,
yeah, in the
cool.
comics, this was more like the position that Norman Osborn was filling. Norman
hmm
Osborn being the equivalent of Tony Stark's in terms of wealth and
Power,
industry, yeah, and
yeah,
power.
industry, yeah,
He was in genetics and technology, but from a different angle, where Stark
right.
is weaponry. So they had a different space. But Norm was one of the top dogs in his field. And
hmm
Norm, while he has a fucked up psychological problem that turns him into a fucking goblin, you know what I'm saying? Like when he's not that, it's like at a certain point he's a good guy, and then he has the other that's alter ego. At a certain point in the comics, he kind of merges and fuses the two,
hmm
and then he becomes this super threatening kingpin type guy.
Megalomaniac,
Yeah, like he basically becomes Lex Luthor,
yeah, on
like
a
where
different
he's
degree,
sitting in high places doing
yeah,
some fucked up things,
fucked
but
up
he's
shit,
still doing them for the right reasons because he really does care about the people. He just
hmm
has his own way of doing it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so he
yeah,
forms different teams as well, including one that is historically known as the Dark Avengers.
okay,
And
okay.
that was during Civil War when all the shit was hitting the fan and everybody was scattered.
He
Norm
was like,
Osborn
fuck it, I'll
said,
get my
"Nah,
own. I'll
man,
do it myself then. I get my own little whip. What's
and I
up?
was the wicked team that was on that because that was true super villains that came together, and they was shutting shit down because when they pulled up, villains would be like, "Oh shit!" People be like, "Hey, wait a minute, what y'all doing? I'm one of y'all. Not today."
Oh shit.
Nah, you
So
causing problems, fam.
Sentry was a part of this. Ares, Ragnarok, Scar, Dakin, Bullseye. Shit.
Yeah, that's a dangerous
Fuck.
team, fam.
Yeah, Trick Shot, Venom. Venom was in both teams.
Venom has been on every team. Almost like Spider-Man and Venom. Those guys have been everywhere.
Yeah, they
Spider-Man was a
move
part of X,
around.
tried to be an X-Man. He tried to be a part of Fantastic Four. Venom actually was in Fantastic Four for a minute too.
Yeah, too. And
It's like,
Guardians of the Galaxy as
yeah, it's
well.
like
So
these motherfuckers, Spider-Man people be everywhere.
they
They
everywhere.
be everywhere.
But Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, and Doctor Doom. God damn.
Yeah,
God
they had some heavy
damn.
hitters. And a lot of those people do operate in gray areas. Captain
Yeah, they
Marvel is
do.
gray as fuck.
Yeah, she is.
Like
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
want to fuck with her. But
No,
nah,
no.
then so yeah, the Dark Avengers was there. But in this, DeFontaine forms the Thunderbolts in lieu of the fact that the Avengers they don't exist. Like as far
Now,
as
did she
everybody
really
knows.
form this team, or was this all just happen to circumstances?
So
Because then,
well, yeah, good point. So in the movie, she's under investigation by Congress
yeah,
for foul play and doing some dirty deeds. In the
mm-hmm.
midst of this, Bucky is a senator, and and really and this is the part that I had put together. He became a senator as a part of his tactic to figure out what she's on. This is his path after the movie when he said, "Oh, I got to figure out what this DeFontaine is about." Remember, he was trying to
Right,
figure out who the power broker was.
exactly. So
This led to he's going after that path.
So of course, I guess seeing how Sam went through the works of the working with the government and all of
Hmm.
that stuff, and he got the message of he got to do something more, and all these characters is really fucked up too. I mean, Bucky was assassin, and he do remember
Brainwashed.
those
He was
motherfucking
Manchurian.
yeah, those missions and shit. So it's a lot to get over. So he feel like he got to redeem himself on all levels. You know what I mean? Being the man, being the better man, and being the better man for the people.
Right.
And his friends Steve, Sam, they all moving
They
through
all
it.
have
So
that.
it only makes sense. My only thing about the movie is now you're explaining and bringing it to light. But my thing was when did he become this senator guy? And because
Well, all
he
the
was
movies
in
do
the
that.
he was in the movie, but he wasn't too much in the movie.
Not at
You
first.
know what I mean? Yeah. So
Not at
I
first.
was looking for a little bit more a little catching up with Bucky a little bit more, but it was good for what it's worth after you explaining it and realizing like, yeah, Bucky been in a lot of shit before this movie anyway.
Yeah, his journey has been incremental, and you can see the breadcrumbs. And like most of these movies, there's gaps in between the movies, like in the comic books, where they don't tell you everything that happened to the
They don't
character.
have to tell you everything.
You got to
They
figure it out.
yeah, yep. Or
And
they'll
so,
tell you something, later down the line.
yeah, I was doing this while I was back then.
Yeah, it's like,
you know,
oh.
that's where he was. But so Bucky becomes a senator, and he's infiltrating politics because now he's trying to figure out who's the man behind the curtain, or in this case, the woman behind the curtain. And it
Right.
led him to DeFontaine, and now he's trying to figure out what DeFontaine's intentions are. So he's
Mm.
working with another senator who's the main guy who's pushing to get her um,
Taken down,
impeached.
investigated. Yeah,
As she
impeached. Yep,
said.
yep, yep.
So what she does is she takes all of her little cronies that she got working for her, which is all these cats that we've been talking about, and
But all her
she
experiments, all her
they're
weapons,
shutting
and all
down the
that. Yeah,
whole
they shutting
network
down
of
the
her
whole shit.
bullshit.
Yeah.
And so now she has one place left to shut down, which is this warehouse off in the middle of nowhere. And she sends all these guys there, and she does the Joker thing. I killed the bus driver. Like each one of them is trying to kill
Yeah.
another one of them. So Bucky's trying to kill so and so. So and so is trying to kill, like Ghost is trying to kill. They're all trying to kill another person with the goal that they'll kill each other. And then she was going
Right.
to incinerate the place
Yeah.
and destroy
Burn
all
all
the
the
materials in
evidence.
it, the
Yeah.
evidence.
Burn all the evidence. So have her lab work, all her records, everything in there. Burn it up. Burn it up.
Yep. What I liked about the scene when they all go in there and start fighting, number one, fucking Walker's a beast. Walker is
When
a
they show it,
beast.
yeah, when they
He-
show it, he's a
when he
beast.
when he got when they was
Yeah.
all fighting, and he's just like, yo, and he handling them. He
Yeah.
turning and he like, oh, you want some? She's like, no, I'm here for
Yeah.
her. I don't give a fuck. Get out my way. But he was just going. So they're
Just
all
pure
fighting.
super soldier, because we
Yeah.
saw how Walker went through that limit, and he finally took that shot. He
And after
was
that,
loose. Don't get tired, man. He just
nah, he just
So,
go. So they're
U.S.
battling.
agent is a very good person to have on your team, though. I mean, no,
It really
bullshit,
is.
because he's not quite Steve Rogers, but he is a good hand. He is a pair of hands to have on your
Yeah,
team.
he's a good
if
he's a good
available.
offensive and defensive guy.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think his strategies are always the best. He's not the best
I wouldn't go with the
tactician.
leadership role either, but
Nah, but
he
but
could be on the bench.
point
He could
and
be a
shoot.
bench warmer.
You aim
Yeah,
and
point-
send off. Just go
Yeah,
over there,
go
go
ahead.
over there and
Just-
take those
just
guys out.
Clean them out.
Yeah, clean that room out, and then we'll see you after you're done. So they're doing this whole thing, and in the midst of this, they end up knocking over this container, and Bob spills out. Bob's out.
Bob spills out.
So Bob is now like popping up, and they're like, "Who the fuck is you?" Meanwhile, that she who shall not be named gets popped in the head because she's useless, and nobody cared about this character.
That's a when that happened, it didn't jar me at all. It was
you
just
didn't
like,
care.
oh, it's like, oh, wow. I
She don't
kinda
even
see
talk.
Where
I
they was
don't.
going with the fight scenes. The fight scenes was kind of and that's why I hate because I really like this character and I really wish
That they did
they
it right.
would have did it right
Well,
the first time.
that's because I don't think
because
this ain't Taskmaster.
she was kind of mimicking the way and predicting how she was shooting and stuff. It's like, this is so. Because, I mean, you go into like the Daredevil show. And you got Bullseye doing bullseye shit.
Yeah, like, God.
Throw the can at your ass.
Yo.
Bullseye was good with skill sets, man. So, I just wish they really did well with that character. But they had to retcon the whole situation, and they did it. And
no, they just got rid of it. They just tied. They basically defontained the character. They defontained it. So yeah, so Taskmaster, quote, these are air quotes. Taskmaster gets murked by Ghost, no doubt, no less, because Ghost is fucking.
Which was a dope scene.
Yeah, because they was going and Ghost pulled up.
Yeah,
but Bob is there. Nigga. So what is it? 4 of them now? So it's 5. It's Yelena, it's Ghost, it's
everyone except Red Guardian.
Yeah, everybody except Red. So it's 4 of them. It's the 4 of them. And so Bob is, and they're trapped in there, and they realize this was a setup. Bob is the wild card because they hadn't figured out where he came from.
He's not the normal looking assassin or anything.
He's a regular dude.
Suit. Yeah, he looked like a regular dude in a hospital suit. He looked real wimpy and shit.
And confused about life. Like he's sitting here like
why is he here?
Yeah, what are you doing here? Like what are you and he don't know how he got there because, whatever. So they get out of there and now they're on a mission because Yelena's sending everybody after them now. Like, he's like, yo, they're not supposed to escape. They working together. Fuck that. They can't work together. So she's sending the troops after them. They get outside and they fighting, and to get away, Bob decides he's gonna sacrifice himself. Now, and I have to say this very loosely. I don't think, because I think he already knew who he was. He already knew. This is the part where we get into Bob as a character.
Okay.
Bob is a very interesting character. Now, Robert Reynolds is his real name, and comic book story Robert Reynolds. He was debuted in 2000. And what was interesting about his story is that you never really know what is true and what is not true about him because he's crazy and he's a fucking crackhead.
Right.
And
he's in the
got
comic books too?
Yeah, he's a crackhead. He's got bipolarism. He's depressed. He's got some shit going on.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's in the comic books, you can never be sure what his story is because you don't know if he's making it up. If he's, when you're traumatized, you create stories to suppress the real story. Yeah. So he's got all these different stories, and there's all these different angles in the comics where you're like, well, somebody will come to him and say like, nah, that never happened, dude. That's on your head. And then he's like, is it? Wait a minute. And then there's another scene where he's like, he thinks the void don't exist, and then void is there, and it's this whole thing with him. But the long story short, so when Bob pulls up and he's telling him he don't remember, I don't believe him. I don't believe that he didn't know. Because that moment when he finally decided he got tired of U.S. agent taking jabs at him, he's like, you were Captain America? And then he was like, yeah, why? He's like, because you're kind of an asshole. And then, agent walked up on him. And if you peeped, agent felt that energy. Agent felt that strength.
Yeah.
He kind of looked, he was like,
oh,
what the fuck is going on here? Because this dude, and that's what Yelena looked at. She was like, why you not scared of a super soldier in your face, fam?
Yeah, what you doing?
Like, that's a fucking super soldier. You trying to die?
That's what's her concern. So she got concerned about it too because she was like, "There's something about this motherfucker, but I just can't put my finger on it. So what is this dude? You know what I mean?" So yeah, she was into it too.
She caught it.
That's a good point you brought because like I said, you never look and be like, "Who is this motherfucker?" So Marvel's dope, man. They really use crazy
They're playing into it.
because this movie is a lot about mental health as well.
Absolutely. For
Because
all of them.
for all of them, yeah, it's about trauma, and it's like a Scarlet Witch story times 6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're
Because,
they're all are broken characters.
yeah. These are the rejects. These are the bad news bears, so to speak,
Yeah.
of Marvel, of the MCU so far.
All with blood on their hands. So these are all
yeah,
killers.
have-
But not killers.
yeah.
A lot of them are killers out of rage or out of moments of just like straight emotional loose, no lost control. And
They've
so
seen a lot of dark shit in their early childhood, and that escalates.
that family
to
thing,
now.
when she broke down what happened like with Walker's family, yo.
Yeah.
Hey man, like so for those who don't know, what we've learned is that since the events of Falcon and Winter Soldier, Walker lost his wife and his, at the time it was a newborn child in the show. His wife left him because of the shit that he did, because of the antics that went down, and also he was getting slightly verbally abusive.
He was like charged off of that shit, man.
Yeah, he was charged off that
super-
drug, and he wanted to be
yeah,
Captain America, and he was no longer Cap. He no longer had purpose, so he was sitting there kind of upset and festering in the crib,
Yep.
watching the baby and snapping about it. Like this, he really was on his phone, just basically depressed, staring at all the news articles shitting on him as Captain America and what he did wrong. The baby sitting in the playpen crying and kind of whatever, and he ignoring it.
He's being nonchalant, ignoring,
Yeah,
just being the ass.
yeah, basically being Walker.
So that was the thing I like, because Sentry was kind of like entering their little mind spaces. That one time when Yelena laid down or got blown up or whatever she was recovering from, she had the bad dream. And
Well, when
saw
she touched him, when you touch his skin, when you touch him, his psychic ability kicks in. This is the thing about Bob.
So motherfucker, Paul, what kind of skill
So
set he has?
you gotta so let's get into that. So basically, as they're escaping, Bob decides to quote unquote sacrifice himself, and the troops unload on him like full clips on this motherfucker, like 10, 15 troops, full clips.
Yeah.
Clothes tear up, but he fine. And then at this moment, and this is why I'm saying where you got to pay attention to Bob and how dangerous Bob is. We ain't even getting into the Sentry or to the Void. These are all
so
three
this
different
is-
people.
3.
These are 3 different personalities, literally 3 different personalities. And you can see the difference when he becomes each one. It's fucking
Yep,
weird to
yep,
watch.
yep,
So Bob is the one who thinks he knows what's going on. He thinks he understands his power sets, but the truth is that there are no limits. When they made this serum, so the people that made the super soldier serum that Bob takes, they were trying to capitalize off of the super soldier concept, but they made their own. And in the modern times,
Dude, they gave him some Kool-Aid, boy.
It's
They gave him
super-
the hooked up Kool-Aid.
it's super powerful. And they knew it was that powerful.
A little drop of lemon juice and lime juice. And
Yep, they went
they
in.
gave him a fruit punch.
So but here's the trick to it, right? The reason why it worked with him is because of his problems, because of the other drugs that he had in his system already. So it was a unique factor that made it
All
possible.
these chemicals is
Mixed
mixing up.
in. So he had a chemical imbalance already. He had mental things going on. He's got biological things going on with his hormones and chemicals. He's a drug addict. He's a crackhead, meth head. And then you shoot him up with some shit. And then this creates this unique environment that was perfect. And what happens is that he didn't have an identity for this character yet, known as the Sentry. He didn't have a name yet, even though if they're following the comics, he did already know he was the Sentry.
Okay.
Bob deliberately hid his own memory, suppressed all these things to forget, because he knew how dangerous. He knew that the Sentry was dangerous because the Sentry produces the Void.
The Void, and that's even worse.
So in order to keep the Void out, you got to keep Sentry out.
Yeah.
But so long story short, his powers
Damn, it's a
unlocked.
triple threat. That's fucked up.
Yeah, he's crazy because you can't do nothing to Bob.
Nah.
And in the comics, even if you do something to Bob, You can't do
The
nothing to
Sentry
Bob.
gonna come. Yeah. It's
You
like
you can't do nothing to any of it. Like, because
it's the Bruce Banner effect. Like you said, you put a bullet in Bruce Banner's brain, then who you think gonna come after? Like,
hey fam, the Sentry has died before and came back.
yeah.
And they asked him, the Avengers was like, how did you heal from that? How did you come back? And he said, I don't know. I just can do these things. Because he just does things like when you, so well, let's skip through this movie a little bit.
Okay.
So the Sentry is the Sentry. These guys are escaping from De Fontaine trying to kill them. And then Bucky comes and they think is Bucky's rescuing them, but he's really trying to get them so that they can be witnesses in the trial against De Fontaine. So he's trying to get this group together. Red Guardian already had got involved because he's the one that pulled up in his limo and got them out of there. So now the whole band is together. Minus Bob.
Zangief if they do Street Fighter.
Hey, that's hilarious. He should.
Dan Harmon should play Zangief.
That's hilarious. That's actually good. But now they're all together. Red Guardian is trying to call them the Thunderbolts because that was Yelena's childhood team.
Yeah.
And but these guys are now sitting around and telling Bucky, yo, they've got this dude named Bob. And he's like, who the fuck is Bob? Bob is weird. We just saw this nigga turn into a missile and bomb the fucking soldiers. But he didn't do it on purpose, but he did it nonetheless. Like he flew up and then he fell because he passed out. Because from being too high up, he passed out. Because he was still Bob at this point, trying to suppress it.
He was
still Bob. So he fell back down to the earth. I mean, he hit the ground so hard. He made a Mjolnir crater. Like this shit was huge. and of course, because he was out cold, they hooked him up. So De Fontaine is trying to court Bob into being the Sentry. She got an outfit for him and everything. She was like, "You was who we've been waiting for. I went and pulled this out the vault. I forgot you existed. We didn't know you was real." So this is where it gets. Why I say this is where I think the story is going to progress later, and we'll find out that
there
this
was
is not
a Sentry project. So he probably
he was the Sentry before. He's the only one that survived. There is only one Sentry because he was the only one that survived.
Okay.
But what happened was, and if you see the scene later in the Void, you'll see. So she courts him to be on her side and be her golden guardian of good.
Of America, of the world.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean literally that's his name, Golden Guardian of Good.
Oh, okay.
That's what she was. Remember, she had that. That's what she said. You're my golden guardian of good. That's what he calls himself. You know, that's why she wanted him to dye his hair blonde and shit.
And then he had the gold suit.
The gold suit, yeah, because the power of 10,000 suns and all that shit. Yeah. So this motherfucker does this over here, and then Bucky says, "Oh, y'all got to come with me to go get De Fontaine because I just got a call from somebody and he said this Bob motherfucker's dangerous." And he's like, and then he turns to him like, "Bob?" And it was like, "Bob." So now they go to get De Fontaine, and now she's got Avengers Tower. She bought it and turned it in her De Fontaine palace.
Yeah, it's cool.
And she in there kicking it, and then they come in there like, "Yo, we taking you down." She's like, "Nah, I don't think so."
Nah, you ain't doing that.
She was like, "It's really cool that y'all trying to be a team and all, and y'all gonna work together. I'm really surprised by that, but I got this guy over here." And she says, "The Sentry." And then he come down the stairs, and he looking all like, you know, now he's in his confident state. Because that's what the Sentry is, his confidence state. Bob is his natural depressed, I'm insecure. The Sentry is when he's like, yeah, I'm the shit. And I know it.
We're getting to alter ego now.
Now we get into the alter ego. Yeah. So the Sentry comes down with the confidence. He's standing. Now you see how tall and big he really is.
Right.
Because when he's Bob, he's like shoulders all
wimpy,
down and
really
shrink in.
Yeah.
But when he's the Sentry, now he stands with his arch and he's out, chest out, like So he come in and they's like, "Yo, we don't want to do this, Bob." And Winter Soldier Bucky's like, "This outfit is stupid." You know how Bucky is. He don't care about that superhero shit. I don't give a fuck about y'all and y'all hero outfits. That's dumb. Just you got hands, nigga. So Bucky go at him and literally he gets put on his ass like nothing right away
with his own arm.
No, before that, the first time he came at him. So this is first, and everybody was like, "Oh, we gotta help." They all jump in. So now this is when you see, like, he's like, "Let me see. Let me just fuck with y'all a little bit." And he just started. He started doing all these different powers.
Like
He's
heat vision. He's
using
speed.
he's using heat vision. He's using speed, flight. He's invulnerable to anything, knives, bullets. He used
Bullets,
telepathy. He
all that
stopped the
shit.
bullets, Matrix
Yeah,
style, and then shot him
yeah,
back at him.
yeah,
He threw Red Guardian out the window,
yeah,
caught him with his powers, pulled him back
Yeah.
in. and
Yeah.
like, so he was lit. And if you pay attention in this whole moment, he never did anything that would have killed them.
Nah,
He was
just
very
slapping
careful
them
not to
around.
hurt them.
He was slapping them around.
He was just playing.
and
He was just showing them like, you ain't got nothing on me, fam.
like, you ain't gonna fuck with me. Don't get it twisted, dude. Like, I
Mhm.
wish you would think that
Right.
you have something on me, but you don't. Check this
Yeah.
out. I don't care.
Let
who
me show you
are.
what
Super
I can do.
soldier. Super soldier? Get your
Nah,
ass
you
up outta
ain't,
here.
you ain't got nothing
And
on
that's
me.
kind of dope because now it brings a different level of power.
This is
You
a
know,
different
you was-
level.
At we was talking before. Super soldier is kind of like the pinnacle, unless
For
you-
human potential.
for human potential. But now you got something stronger.
Actual
And then there's
superhuman.
mutants, and then there's mutants on the other side. We just gotta see how they're gonna introduce their science and how, the X
Yeah.
gen and all that. But right now, this is kind of like the pinnacle of power right now.
Yeah, and
So,
I mean, this is on
next
the level of Adam Warlock
Yeah, yeah.
and Captain Marvel and
Yep,
Carol
yep,
Danvers. These
yep,
are these
yep.
level powered people. These people would probably have to fight to make
Well,
it
I
something.
only meant that on Earth based. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I
Because
don't.
kind of like more out of space, solar shit. It's like, all right. But on the level of Earth, Defenders,
Yeah.
yeah, this the highest level in my regard. There's Doctor Strange and shit. He do
Nah,
magic and shit.
Doctor Strange
but
can't do shit to him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I mean, magic. I mean, obviously, magic would work in certain capacities. You'd have to do,
To
but you
contain,
got to
yeah.
get to him before the next personality comes out. Because Sentry is not going to do. Sentry will never hurt you,
Okay.
and because Sentry is a holistically arrogant, but he's good. The
Okay.
Sentry is very much a good person. This is
Okay.
Bob's confident self. And that's why when DeFontaine said da, and she was like, go kill him, and he was like, well, why? They ain't no
Whoa,
threat to
ain't do
me.
anything.
They
Yeah,
can't hurt me. The fuck I
Yeah.
gotta kill him. And she
Yeah,
was
I'm
like,
gonna
because I
kill him
said so.
for
And
it.
he was like, how you gonna tell a god what to do? This is Sentry. Sentry is that motherfucker. He knows it. So he don't be so most of the time, there's moments in the comics where Sentry is standing there because Sentry is not a team player, really. He'll be he'll
can
be on a
tell.
team, but he don't do shit. He will
tell.
stand there and he'll watch niggas fighting, and then they'll be like, are you gonna help? And he'll be like, that guy is
They ain't do
like,
nothing to me.
that guy's weak. Like he said, I'm not gonna fight that guy. That's not fair. He was like, why would I do that? Like he literally does that, and people be like, fuck, get out of here. So Sentry's been on teams and avoids fights, partially
Oh,
because
wow.
he knows he can win, but also because he knows that if he goes too far, the void will come out.
Okay.
That was the beautiful thing in the comics when during World War Hulk, with World Breaker Hulk,
Uh-huh.
he was the whole time. Remember, he did not do anything.
Right.
He would not fight.
Just chilling. Yeah.
Captain America was like, you on my side, you gonna fight? No, I'm not. I'm gonna sit here in this house and mind my business. Because they're not gonna, because as he like always, what are they gonna do to me? Nothing. So I'm gonna sit here and just watch. But when Hulk came
we
out,
need your help.
Nah,
we need
he-
your help.
when Hulk finally got to the point where he was about to he about to wipe out all the Avengers and every hero, that's when Sentry was like, all right, maybe this might be a little fun. And then remember, Hulk said, you don't want this, fam. You don't want this fight. And Sentry was like, yes, I do. You know why? Because you're the only motherfucker that I can hit and can take it. And so Sentry says, I'm about to cut loose. So then Hulk was like, bet. And these niggas start going at it to the point where their fight starts destroying the earth.
Yeah, and that's when it
Started
gets to
warping
it, because-
reality. They was so
Yeah.
fucking, it was so much
Yeah.
power coming off of that fight.
Yeah.
And the only thing that stopped that fight was they both reverted back to their regular selves.
Mm-hmm.
Bob and Bruce.
Bob and Bruce. Yeah.
And then that was the end of that. But again, Sentry had to give him that. Sentry knew the only thing that would calm Hulk.
So them hands.
You gotta get Hulk to the point where he's satiated.
Yeah.
Hulk had got out the rage, and by hitting Sentry,
You knocked the anger out his head. I'll beat the rage out your
right.
fucking head.
They fought till Hulk had no more desire to fight, which was impressive.
Oh shit!
So that was one of the high points for Sentry, where he knew he was like, I get to cut up.
Man, it gotta be some superhero insurance, man. They fucked up the world with that
Oh,
fight, man.
there was it was World War Hulk. The whole planet was fucked up.
Right.
The whole planet was fucked up. He was about to tear the planet in half.
Damn.
That's why Sentry had to finally pull up. And this is the type of shit. Sentry will sit there and watch niggas get their ass whooped. For the very reason that when he was fighting them, it's no effort for him. It's not like it really matters to him. It's like, you're not really a threat. Go have your fun. You think, okay, you're stabbing me with a knife. Wow. That's literally how he was looking. He had that look like, bam.
Like One Punch Man and shit. Like,
yeah, he was like letting them do stuff. Like, remember when Yelena jumped on his back and he was just like, oh.
yeah, like, come on.
And she's sitting there trying to electrocute him, and he was like, all right. And he tossed her, but then he
fun?
caught her before she hit the ground.
Yeah.
Or like with what you call it? He took his shield and just bent it just to let him know, like
a taco.
yeah, he was like, all right, taco shield. They called him Taco Man after that. Hey man, I feel sorry for Walker. Walker, every situation Walker get in, he the laughing stock.
Well,
he be doing his thing.
That's
Because they had the little cartoons of him with the fucking taco shield.
Yeah.
And then oh my goodness, that shit was hilarious.
I knew on Winter Soldier and Falcon Winter Soldier when he stepped up to the what's their names, the
Flag Smashers,
the Wakanda,
the chicks, yeah,
Dora Milaje,
the Dora Milaje,
yeah, man, he stepped at them and we talked about this before on a power shot, you know, when you have the camera over someone, that brings them down lesser, right?
Right.
And then the power shots when you shoot low and the person is high. So the whole transition of power, when they was in the room, he was standing over the women and he was talking down on them, right? Mm-hmm. And then they did that whole exchange, that fight exchange, and old girl got the shield. Now he's on his knees and she looking down on him with his shield on her arm. That was the most beautifulest shot of how you transition power and switching powers like that and putting people in their place at the same time. It was perfectly shot. So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, Walker, it's no comeback. You always going to be that step-on kid.
Clearly, because he does his thing when he does it. Because I'm not
arrogant as fuck.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily mad at him for when he killed that Flag Smasher. It was wrong because the dude, but
it was emotions.
But he's a fucking. He was Captain America.
He just took that shot. He just took it. All that adrenaline is. I look at it like some type of steroid too, and probably this is why he was angry at his own house too. Is all these chemicals. You know, and like we saying, all these characters is really fucked up. All of them had different chemical imbalances going on with them, different hormones and different things changing within their bodies as well, going through the motion of action, fighting in that real time moment, you know. So,
but with Walker, I don't even think it was that bad. Walker is a soldier, Rogers was never. Rogers was never a soldier.
He took that. You put blood on the shield. There's a lot of symbolism.
Yeah, but Walker's a soldier. Like the soldiers kill. Rogers was never an actual soldier. People forget that.
That's the difference. So
Rogers Roger had ideals, but he got rejected from the military, and he only became a military person because to become Captain Rogers, to take the serum. He never went to battle as a regular soldier with a gun in his hand. Walker been through death. So Walker says, I got an enemy in front of me, an enemy combatant. I'm killing this motherfucker.
And that's the difference.
And I'm okay with that when it comes, because this the same guy that was killing people.
Hey, Cap kill motherfuckers too now. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, Cap will kill you. Hey, on the Winter Soldier, when he in the beginning on that boat, them niggas was dead. All them motherfuckers was dead.
Off the boat and shit.
He kicked that one guy, and his back went right into that rail. He is paralyzed if he's still alive.
Yeah, fuck out of here.
He got brain trauma. Like you getting hit. Like he was kicking the shit out of them
He was
normal
kicking the
people.
shit. Yeah, they was hitting
He
them.
was shielding them. He was
They
throwing that
was
shield at
ricocheting.
them.
The people was ricocheting off the walls. Like,
Yeah, he was fucking them up. So I don't think them people survived that.
nah,
And I don't think he
so.
cared either, because that again, at that point, he had been in the military. Now he's been facing people who tried to kill him,
Yeah,
enemy
it's-
combatant. So he was like, nah, I don't care about y'all.
Hey, I gotta do what I gotta do. When I'm stronger, I'm out here with no gun, no knife, or nothing. Just
Nah,
a
I'm about
shield.
to fuck you up.
I'm about to fuck y'all up. And it's gonna be fun.
Yep, that shit
Gonna
was
be fun.
hilarious. So
Nah,
these
this
guys
was-
are different.
Yeah, very much so. So, yeah, dude, this movie,
So let's dig into the depression of Bob.
let's
So
and
Bob,
see, that's the thing. This movie starts off with Yelena and really kicks off with her, but Bob is really the most interesting character in this movie. That was the best thing for the movie for me. So yeah, let's get into this whole part, because it goes into mental health, and like you said, this is a triple threat here. So now we get into the dark,
the void.
the void.
Because that's a conversation where Yelena is trying to learn about Bob, and so he asks her, like, "How do you deal with the darkness?"
Mhm.
And she was like, "You just got to push deep down." And he's like, "That's it? Okay, good advice."
Right.
Because he really knows, and that's what I'm saying. Bob knew already who he was.
Okay.
He's Bob's story in the comics is him always trying to suppress the void, which means he's trying to suppress Sentry, because one leads to the
And
other.
that go into drug addiction, that goes into, reckless behavior, that goes into self-sabotage, that goes into a whole lot of things you do to yourself to suppress things, suppress dark thoughts, dark experiences, traumatic experiences, like you said, dark childhood, all types of these things that people do sometimes to their self to even pain, you know what I mean? Self-inflicting pain and all types on all levels, lashing out on others and a whole bunch of shit, man, that people go through just because of upbringing and just traumatic experiences alone.
Yeah. So Bob is that guy. He's suppressing abusive father who beat on his mom and him. He's dealing with other things that happened later on in his life. He was a crackhead, a meth head.
Yeah.
He and through all of that,
Not
we
the
don't
Judge Mathis crackhead, like the real.
the Judge Mathis
Like
crackhead.
Judge Mathis call everyone a crackhead.
Nah, this is actual crackhead, like on the street, scratching and itching and living from hit to hit. But the serum unlocked powers. But you gotta understand what it gave power to, because the void is a personification of the darkness inside of him.
I
The
was
shit
gonna
that
say,
Yelena was saying suppressing, where the Sentry is a manifestation of his confidence.
of confidence. Okay.
These are so like when you're depressed, there's two versions of you. The real version of you, which is Sentry, that's really him. The Sentry is him when he's not depressed.
Mm-hmm.
The void is when the depression wins. And Bob is the guy who's in the middle. The confidence, it's dealing with the psychology that the confidence leads to depression, because confidence puts you in these precurements where you're masking your insecurity. But the Sentry don't have no insecurity.
It's the balance of life. That's why we gotta balance everything together. Because you have your alter egos and your confidence and all that shit. But what happened when that drops, and then like the void seek in, and it's an ill balance, right? It's like
Yep.
light and dark right there. It's like boom, good and evil right there. So then, yeah, that goes off, and then the void come in, and then it's just like it's like misery love company, kind of, so to speak, right?
Yep. And that's what we saw. So
Yeah.
we see Sentries having unlimited powers. He's got every single ability that you can imagine the Sentry has when it comes to superpowers. He's got all of them. He's got way more than Superman.
All the tricks, yeah.
Yeah, he got
Superman
every
shit on
fucking
me.
thing. Like the Sentry has everything,
He's
and
Superman, Neo, Goku.
he's all of that. But the balance is that if like the Sentry is still vulnerable, He, as invulnerable as he is and impervious to being hurt, it's also it's similar to Hulk. It's a manifestation of the fact that he really is still very sensitive and psychologically broken.
Yeah.
So the Sentry has to be invulnerable. These are all manifestations of Bob's mind. That's how these power. Basically, he got the power that he really got was mental power. He's got the power of the mind. And then Sentry is the physical manifestation of how he protects himself, and then
personifications,
so that he can't. So yeah, that's why it's like he's in the comics. He's wearing all these colors because he wants to be bright. He wants to be the whole 10,000 Suns. More so, that was him talking about himself because he wants to be that guy. He wants to be light. He wants to be bright, as opposed to the darkness, the void, the sadness.
Carry light. It's not heavy. Carry light.
So the void, when he becomes the void, and he becomes the void because DeFontaine betrays him, basically.
Pretty much.
Basically, shuts him down with this weapon. And zap. What he does as a result of that, he says, well, shit, I was the Sentry and this bitch did this to me. I can't win. Fuck it. Now I'm depressed again. So, of course, when Sentry gets depressed, he becomes the void. And the void is a different physical manifestation. The void is just this completely shadowed figure. It's like you can't, there's no light can penetrate the void. Yep. And the void is basically emptiness, like no value. I don't care about anything. You barely see
his eyeballs. Like, it's really creepy. And I like the effect they use visually for him because it looked very creepy-ish.
It was very horror. In the right settings, this could be a horror movie.
Yep.
This could easily have been a horror movie. I mean, basically, what the void does,
it still could fly and shit. So it's still like
it's still the same power sets. It's just the void only has one goal, and that's to misery loves company. Join me in darkness. Embrace your sadness. Embrace. So what happens is the void pulls you into the darkness. Literally, he manifests an alternate reality of darkness, which is basically your worst experience repeated over and over. It's hell. So he basically pulls everybody in. Anything and everything. He pulled the whole New York into the fucking darkness.
Dude, that's crazy.
It was fucked up. And you imagine all them people just had a whole traumatic fucking, what is it, about an hour, maybe 2 hours, a couple hours of that shit.
Oh my goodness.
And Yelena realizing, understanding,
because I'm saying, like, Dr. Strange, where you at, man? All this shit is these people.
He gone. Remember, his wife came and got him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So he's somewhere in an alternate Earth somewhere doing some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stop the convergence.
Right. Yeah. He doing some serious work.
Yeah. He busy.
There's a lot of shit going on, Strange.
Yeah. So
a lot of shit going on.
But remember, these aren't his problems anyway.
They're never his problems, punk ass. So his problem is this. Shit.
Straight. The Sorcerer Supreme, loose. The Earth's mightiest Avengers of
that, Wanda.
That. Yeah, that was a little fucked up. No, but I get it, man. Because
no, that's against the people will, man. It wasn't Pleasantville. She had them motherfuckers out there doing that shit.
A whole hex over the town and shit.
Yeah, a whole hex over.
You could have came and took care of that shit. That's a whole nother conversation about Strange and Strange is.
But anyway, yeah.
But yeah, so now, as the darkness, he only cares about bringing everybody down. And bringing everybody into the darkness, and that's only the tip of his. We didn't even really see the void. What the void was doing in this is not the void. The void is a lot. There's manifestation. Like, you think Sentry got powers? Void does the same weird shit, but from a darkness. Oh, this is crazy. So we ain't seen the void really go to void. And what's really fucked up, and I don't know if they're gonna do it in this, but the void can actually separate.
I heard there's different forms of them too. It's not really just that.
He's pure darkness. He can take on any form he wants. He can be a creature. He can be a dark Sentry.
Yeah.
Because what we saw in this was that the void had pulled Sentry into the dark.
So pretty much.
So Bob was inside in the darkness, and the Sentry was outside. But they both can be outside. And the Sentry is a personification that exists now. because
how do
Bob's
you
will
stop
made
that?
him.
How do they usually stop the Sentry? I mean, the Void in the comic books.
Exactly.
Like, how do they?
Like they doing this. It's Bob.
Friendship?
Only Bob can do it
Oh, only Bob. Okay.
because it's Bob. Bob has
Yeah.
to shut it down.
Okay.
Bob has to shut it down. The Void is a fucked up. The Void when everybody and they mama do everything in they can that they can. That's why I say the comics is you have to read this fucking comic because you don't know for sure who knows and who doesn't and what's real and what isn't. There's one version of it where Sentry been around for 100 for like 50 something years since the golden era of heroes, and the whole world created this device to suppress the Void by making everybody forget about the Void, and Bob even forgot. But then there's another version where in the same where they're telling the story and they're saying like, nah, that's all in your head, fam. The Void don't even exist, dude. You
So
are the
he's a
Void.
different level than Moon Knight crazy.
Oh, this is really dealing with the psychological problems that you go through depression and how that can create problems for you versus like his trauma, his fracture is from trauma, where Moon Knight is just bipolar, I guess.
Yeah,
Multiple
bipolar.
personality disorder.
But
I don't
a lot
know.
of people who seen this movie was really saying like they was bringing up bipolarism, they was bringing up depression, they was bringing up a lot of stuff that they identified with this character, and they was like they are very happy that this that they brought this into the light,
Right.
And yeah, it's a
weird
deep movie, man.
It's a very weird story to take in. And that's why I say some people are gonna watch this and it's gonna make them look at themselves a little differently. Like, nah, nigga, sometimes you're the fucking Void too. And you tear everybody down that you're around and you want to destroy everything because you feel a certain way and you embracing your darkness.
To satisfy your hunger of misery and depression, and that's not fair. That's not cool.
And then other times they want to sit there and personify this Sentry character that everything is all right. Now nothing can
super
nah,
macho, super powerful. And,
and
it's all fake smiles.
It's all bullshit.
Fake bright.
Inside of that light is the most dark. That's the most terrifying dark of all. And so this character, them bringing this character to light,
or the most insecurest person in the room. You know what I mean? The very smallest person in the room too. So it is a lot of levels to look at this, but like you were saying,
we're not going to see a lot of Sentry because, just like what we saw in that end credit scene, fucking Avengers is going to be the new Avengers.
So all of this
was the Thunderbolts asterisk is all.
At the end of the day, they were still chasing De Fontaine.
They joined up and to fight down, to bring down De Fontaine, who manipulated that fucking situation. So what was happening was she was doing a press conference where she was going to unveil the Sentry, and this is how she was going to redeem herself in lieu of this trial that they were trying to do for her. She was like, well, no, this is the culmination of my thing, a hero, since there's no Avengers. It's the Sentry. But because what happened with the Sentry,
all the time.
right? So instead, what she doing, because this is where the story ties into the comics. In that moment, Bob and the Sentry, along with the new Avengers, aka the Thunderbolts, all work together to take down the Void.
Yeah.
No one knows that the Void is Sentry, aka Bob.
Yes, because it's different, right?
And that's what I'm saying. Now we're creating this whole thing of what's real and what isn't. No one knows. Everybody's gonna think that the Void is somebody else.
But it's really
the Sentry who is Bob
presented to the whole world.
Exactly. and Bob is gonna sit there because the whole thing was the Avengers. They're all in their outfits as the new Avengers,
right?
And talking about all these things that they doing, and the fact that Falcon or Captain America is doing his own Avengers, and he's trying to patent
his own squad.
He's got his own squad. They're called the New Avengers. He's gonna be just the Avengers. And so
he had their head because
he's like, nah, that's our name. He said first you tried to take Captain America from us. Now you want to take the Avengers?
Now you want to take the team?
Like, get the fuck out of here. So that's one thing. But the thing about this scene is everybody's in their outfits.
Part of his squad, though, boy.
Oh, you know who a part of his squad? Shang-Chi, probably Wong. Probably Captain Marvel, probably Shuri. You know what I'm saying? That's the squad right there. The squad is
Probably
that.
more than that. We just don't even know yet who surfaced though.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. It could be what's his name, Icarus or whatever the fuck his name
Because
is.
all the motherfuckers showing up. Thor, where Thor at? Where
Yeah,
Thor?
Thor will be back, and you know he's an Avenger too. He's a day one, so he'll pull up.
He gonna
You
pull
know,
up. What up?
I mean, shit, Rhodes can pull up as Iron a War
Yeah, I was gonna
Machine.
say Rose still out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
man, they got some
They got the
shits.
squad now.
Yeah,
So he's sitting there as Bob, and they was like, "You ever gonna help?" He was like, "No, because if I become the Sentry, then
the
you
Void
know
will
that
show
means
up, and I don't want that.
yeah, I don't want the
I don't
Void
want
to
that.
show up, so I'm gonna be over
Y'all
here
don't
like
want
this.
that. So let
I'm
me
I'm gonna
just.
stay this guy right here, this little guy, and that's where the story gets interesting because this is Bob. Motherfuckers be going through hell and high water, and he'll be sitting there. Nope, I ain't doing shit. Nope, I'm good. Come on, help us. Nope, I'm good. They just knocked out. Nope, I'm good. You know, he ain't gonna do shit.
So this is gonna be good.
It's
If
gonna be
he-
hilarious
yeah,
with him.
Yeah. So So he's gonna be in Doomsday. He's
He
gonna,
gonna be in
Secret
everything
Wars.
doing nothing.
Yeah, he's gonna be in
Doing nothing.
everything. Yeah,
He
doing
gonna be
nothing.
watching shit, and what'll happen
That's
is
dope.
right at the last minute when you think shit is the worst, and then just like the super villain or like Galactus or somebody gonna show up, and that's when he'll pull up like, hold up, fam, I can't let you do that. And we just gotta hope that when that happens, that he contains it and the void don't get there before he wins. So that's why Marvel was super dope. They made this super all-powerful character that can't be used.
I like that. I okay because I always say, what do you do with characters that's super powerful, like Superman? Now we haven't seen Superman yet, so I want to see what James Gunn iteration of how you could write for super powerful characters and not make them boring, give
Yeah.
them humanistic, realistic attributes and things like that, and pull people into the character. This is a perfect way to handle a character with superpowers. Wanda is sort of the same way, but
Well, Wanda's
the
very
Hulk is
self-aware though.
like they kind of level off.
They
Even though
balance
I
out.
don't like what they're doing with the Hulk, but they do kind of level off the super powerful beings, in the so to speak. They kind of
You got to, because remember I was telling you, if Hulk had been doing the Hulk thing for this last 15 years, that shit would have been played out by now. Oh, here
That's
comes
true,
Hulk
too.
again.
Yeah,
You know, doing the
but-
same, oh, Rage Hulk. Like, nah, you know, you gotta reduce it back. You gotta go through the iterations of Hulk so that when Hulk do this next phase,
then it's gonna be escalation.
then it's
and
gonna be the Hulk we've been
yeah,
looking for.
yeah,
This is gonna
yeah.
be the Hulk that's worse than the Hulk from Avengers.
Right.
That's what
And
I
you know, you don't ham up the scenes, ham up the because yeah, Sentry was just out in the front line.
It'd be
Then the
no
movie
fight.
over in 22
What?
minutes.
It'd be 2 seconds. There would be no Earth-based threat that would ever need more than him.
He's like, oh, okay.
But he can't
Alright.
participate, and if he does participate, you don't know what's going to trigger the darkness,
And
because no
that's
one,
true,
because
too.
it's depression.
Yeah.
Depression comes when it comes, and it goes when it goes, and anything can trigger
Think
it.
if he fighting like a mental awareness, like motherfucker talk shit to you and
Yeah.
trigger something. You know,
It's what I'm saying. Like it's so many things that can bring. That's why he won't. That's why he tries to avoid the fight,
Mm-hmm.
because he don't know what will trigger the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
As long as he's sitting there doing nothing and being chill, because again,
Hey.
the confidence makes it. What does it say? The higher up you are, the greater the fall.
Do it for greater fall.
The more he's into that sentry fade, that sentry state, the more he's vulnerable to the emotional break.
So when he go into the Sentry state and stuff, is it always a thing where he eventually become the
No.
Void, or can
No,
he
it's
just be
it's
the
it's
Sentry
it's
and
it's
be
depression.
cool?
It's unpredictable.
Yeah, it's unpredictable. Okay.
Like when he fought World Breaker Hulk,
Mhm.
the Void didn't show up. Everybody was worried about it. Oh no, Sentry's
Okay.
joining the battle. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Hope he doesn't become the Void.
and they had a fight like that, and the Void didn't show up.
Yeah, it's not about the fight. The Void don't come because of a fight. It's not because of the power. It's because of once you get into that level, then the confidence breeds the fall. The arrogance breeds the fall. That's why he became the Void. Is because
He
when
would
she
get hit and rocked off the and be like, "Man, I don't know, I'm gonna win this," and then the Void could just like kick in or some shit because
it
it
could
kind
be
of
anything. It could be he hit the guy and is winning and he
anything.
still becomes the Void. It doesn't. Depression does not have
It
a
just
control
have a
mechanism. It
trigger.
happens when it happens, and the Void comes when it comes.
Okay.
The Void always wants to come,
hmm
but what good is the Void in the form of Bob?
I'm just getting the different sets of like the Hulk and shit. So the Hulk could show up, you know what I'm saying, anytime, and then the Void could show up anytime. So, nah, that's really dope. So yeah, they're gonna have him sitting at the sidelines to the very, very end, and I
And
think
they
it's gonna
gon'
be
and they gonna probably
hilarious.
be begging him. Are
Yeah,
you
yeah,
gonna help? I mean,
yeah.
we getting
It's
ass
gonna
kicked
be
over here.
hilarious.
Like, and he's gonna be like, nah, I'm good. And like, how
I'm
he's so
good.
meek, and he be like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna fight.
But if he do, and then I like when writers write ticking clocks. That's a ticking clock. So when he do jump in,
It's
I
like,
can
oh
see
shit.
Bucky like, oh shit, man. All right, well, what's
But
wrong, Bucky?
people
No,
who
we
know
gotta
that he's the
we gotta
Void,
make sure he cool.
yeah, the people who know he's the Void, and that's not a separate persona.
Yeah, so now it's a race on the race to stop stop this from happening and this from happening, but you gotta solve the problem and fight the bad guy. So yeah, it could go to a lot of
Yeah,
different
it's a
shit
lot of
writing wise.
space to
So
play with.
I like that. I
They
like
set
that.
this up. That's where I think when Marvel has set up an interesting dynamic. You got two competing Avengers teams.
Yeah.
So now you enter an anime territory where you got the My Hero Academia, where the heroes are competing
Mm,
for their
mm-hmm.
for their rights.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a
And
it's
then
kind
let
of
alone if the the X Men is showing up.
well,
I
the
don't know what
Fantastic
they're
Four is going to be showing up
yeah, and the
first.
Fantastic Four showing up. God damn, dude, this is gonna be Marvel versus Capcom, huh? It's gonna be
Yeah,
shit.
this is about to be interesting because
Marvel rivals and shit.
now that we know the Fantastic Four is about to pull up to our, they said an interdimensional ship
Mm-hmm.
shows
Mm-hmm.
up, and then
Mm-hmm.
it shows the Fantastic Four. This is the end
With the
credits
four.
team.
Yeah.
We don't know what that's about. We don't know how or why they came.
Well, that's coming up next, and that's the movie I'm really, really excited about. Is the Fantastic Four because we had to talk off camera. You was like, man, I think because when I first my initial watching the movie, it was okay to me. It was
The
alright.
trailer, you mean? Oh, you talking
Well,
about
no, I'm talking about the Thunderbolts
okay.
aspect. It was all right to me.
Hmm.
After I slept on it and thought about it, it's solid work.
There's
You
no
know,
weak points
it's
in it.
yeah, and the chemistry is good with the characters. The story was good. The little gaps, like I was saying with Bucky and shit, and a couple other things, but it was overall it was good. It's not the best MCU movie. You know what I mean? It's not the MCU is back because I don't think the MCU went anywhere
Right.
after
That's the key.
yeah, if you following all this story and shit until here, then the MCU
Is a
didn't go anywhere.
well-crafted machine.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's still telling the story. So you're not paying attention to it. That's your problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you don't have to. It's fun for me to watch this because I could see the real character development. If you're just watching the movies and catching on after Endgame, then that's your problem. But that's the whole point of comic book stories. You know what I mean? You
Some of the
read
comics
and watch different things, and you see these characters grow in different
go through
aspects
these
and different,
things.
yeah, understanding. So when you see them on the big faux big book, you know what I mean, the big crisis event or whatever the comic book may be, you see this brand new Bucky, you see this brand
Yeah.
new Red Guardian, you see this brand new character Sentry. Oh, what's he about? You get into these new formats and things and start liking people. I like Yelena better than Scarlet. You know what I mean? So I want to see more of her. And if she's going to be leading this new team, then
Yeah,
I'm with it. I'm with
yeah.
it. If Bucky going to be there and Bucky looking older and shit, he looking gruffier and shit, it's like,
Mm-hmm. He
let's
tired.
go.
He's tired.
Let's go. I want to see this new growth, man, because
I want to see Bucky on one Avenger, the new Avengers, and then his buddy on the other Avengers, and they competing.
and then I want to see them clash. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
another Civil War moment. So,
Hey, you know what's
yeah,
funny about that? Can you imagine they were literally be in a fight, the two Avengers, And you got Banner over there standing around, and then Bob over here standing around, and they both like, "Hey, what's going on with you? Nothing.
And
Who
they
you
on
think
the
gonna win?"
sideline like this.
Talking to each other, talking about who you think gonna win.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't care about none of anything.
But
You
it
want
could
to go?
get cerebral too. Like if you join in, I'm going to have to get in too.
Nah, he wouldn't say that. You know, they're actually
Tell you
best
some
friends.
wrestling
That's his
shit.
best. That's so fun fact in the comics. Hulk is one of Sentry's best friends.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like Hulk, Banner, and Hulk, or the whole character?
It's Hulk.
Because I could see the relation. That's what I'm
Hulk
saying.
is
We was
Hulk.
talking about them. We was
It's
talking about them. I see
yeah,
the relation because they're kind of the same
yeah.
thread of.
It's Hulk. So but it would be Banner by default, but it would really be Hulk.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
because Bob is very much passive, like Banner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so they would have that conversation, and they would lead. Literally, that's what I'm saying. The Avengers would be fighting each other, and these two would be like, "All right, you want to go get something to eat? Let's go." And they would leave. They would just completely leave together, and go somewhere and start drinking and shit, talking. They'd be off having coffee somewhere while the Avengers is
Yeah, I
fighting.
like
Everybody
that,
like, where
man.
the
I
fuck are
wanna
they
see
at?
Yeah. I wanna
You
see
know,
that. The big
I can
guys,
see
the
that
big
happening.
muscle, they gone. They getting drunk.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. Like, they don't care. Because Hulk wouldn't care. Hulk wouldn't
Hulk
want
don't
to.
care anyway.
No,
Yeah,
he ain't
don't
gonna want to
care.
fight, and Sentry wouldn't get involved because there's no threat.
Right, right. That's
And none of you
crazy.
guys are a threat.
So the super powerfulest people is the most reluctant people
The
on the
only one that's
battlefield.
just now getting there is Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Carol's just now starting to. I mean, she stayed away from Earth because of her own insecurities
Mm-hmm.
with Monica,
Right, right, right,
but
right, right.
she also is now coming to terms with the fact that she's more problem with her powers because she keep running in, gunning, and going off and fucking shit
Yeah,
up.
destroying planets and
You're
shit.
right, you fucking ruining fucking people's lives. So she's now catching on that my power is I need to chill. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So all those superpower people all go through that iteration, like where they
Mm-hmm.
realize I need to fall back. Cause
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just because I got this power. Spider-Man,
Don't
great
mean that I could
responsibility
use it.
all
Yeah,
the time. And
all
Carol
the
was one of the
time.
people that use it all the time. She
Mm-hmm.
uses and she don't hold back.
Yeah.
She is not a good person. But like, Carol is not. Carol is an egomaniac like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
She always trying to prove herself. And it's like, bitch,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
you got the power of the power cosmic, like you got the fucking stone in you.
But that's the security. That's why I don't really like Carol that much either.
You're not
Either
supposed
comic
to
book
either.
version or no version. I don't really like and it's not you know, back in the day, oh, you guys don't like Captain Marvel.
Nah, it's
No.
fucking the
We don't
character
like
is
the comic book character. She's an ass clown.
she
Like,
is.
she's
Carol is the worst, man. Carol is right up there with Tony.
yeah, yeah.
Carol
Yep,
is right
yep.
up there with. In
And
fact,
Tony a little bit more tolerable because he, you know,
yeah,
what I
because he
mean,
has he has tech power. There's limits
yeah,
to
he have
that.
tech power and limitations and stuff. And it's like,
And at least he fun shit. He do some good. Carol only
yeah,
does one thing, which is destroy. Like
destroy,
they called her the destroyer.
destroyer. Yep. She's
That's
a whole
fucking crazy. You
outfit.
just the
That's crazy.
destroyer.
Yeah,
You
that's
got
crazy.
innocent people calling you the destroyer. A whole planet call you the destroyer. Whole race of
She'll
people.
destroy your shit. She'll fuck around, destroy
Yeah,
your shit. So,
she will. And I thought that was cool with that character because her hero, I mean, she's the hero to Miss Marvel. And she
mhm,
didn't know how to engage Miss Marvel.
mm,
She really
right.
did not know how to connect with her because she's so used to just being this destroyer.
Destroyer, very, that's a mentality, you know.
Yeah.
And I like, yeah, more we deep dive into the Marvel, these motherfuckers are crazy.
Hey, look at Adam Warlock. Alan
Yeah.
Warlock is another super powerful dude, and he dumb as a bag of rocks. 'Cause he's a
Yep.
newborn.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
like he's just born, so he hasn't gone through the iterations
No
yet.
experience. So you have to deal with
None.
life experience with this skill set that's super powerful
That's
that no one else will ever fucking could teach you anything
yeah,
how to balance
exactly.
your life like this. So yeah, it's crazy.
These characters are wild.
Yeah,
This
it's
is why they
crazy.
need in the MCU right now. They need the Reed Richards. They need
Mm-hmm.
the Doctor
Mm-hmm.
Strangers. They
Mm-hmm.
need Blade.
Yeah.
They need these
Yeah.
veterans who have an understanding and maturity with their powers and their skills, who can coach.
Who could coach, who could lead, who could be the Because, like I said, I'm excited for Fantastic Four primarily is because the smart man is coming back.
Yeah.
I think when you take away Tony Stark's and having him as the only smart resource that could thread all these superheroes and crazies together,
Yeah.
you need someone else to kind of like fall into that place, and that's where Reed Richards come in. So Reed Richards can not only take care of the Fantastic Four, but he could bring that old smart leadership and guidance
Until he become that
into
other, till he fucks around.
till he fuck up and then go.
Yeah, he gonna
'Cause
then
Reed
his
as much as a villain than he is a leader. I
yeah
like
with
him
his
on the villain
powers.
side. Yeah, I
His
like him on the
intelligence
villain
is what
side.
makes him dangerous because
Yep.
he's all
Yeah.
calculation,
Yeah.
no emotion.
Nope.
He does not care about the variables. He only cares about the result of the
The
calculation.
results, and if
And
you have
that's
to
very
destroy
dangerous.
or whatever, because I think this is what's going to lead into.
I
Like
think they're gonna
said,
destroy.
man.
I think they're gonna let their Earth die.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, that's what I'm going. Galactus coming. He's eating. He brought Galactus there, and Galactus is going to eat and
And
eat,
he gonna
and he's
get
going
the
to
fuck
destroy the planet,
and
he
they gonna
gonna
bail.
know Galactus, and they're gonna find a way how to warp through time again, and I think he's bringing Galactus and whatever
'Cause-
else troublesome shit with him.
Because in the MCU, there's different variations to the story. There was one story where there was only one Galactus in the entire multiverse. Then
I can see that too.
there's another variation of where Galactus. There's different versions of Galactus.
I can see that too. But
So
we already saw these type of beings in the Eternals already, and there's one in the Earth. So I mean,
but
whatever.
Galactus ain't one of them.
Galactus.
Galactus
Nah,
is
he
his
ain't
own
one of them, but
thing.
he's something else.
He his own
He
thing.
can activate them or whatever the case may be.
Actually, that's what
and-
they said. Galactus is from the manifestation of creation before this creation. He somehow survived the destruction of the other universe and made it into this universe.
You know what? I'm just gonna let Fantastic Four tell me the Galactus story, so we could just be good. Because I'm down for all this shit. I'm down to see what I mean,
Everything.
his history and all this shit. So that's what I'm saying. See the Galactus.
And that's a whole nother level of power set. Galactus, Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Now we getting into it's back to the Eternals levels.
Yeah, back to the Eternals level, but back to the galaxy, space age shit, shit. I want to see galaxy powered Spider-Man. Remember he had the galaxy powers
Power
for a
Cosmic
second?
too, yeah.
Power cosmic power Spider-Man. Ooh, I want to see that moving forward. A little bit of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But cosmic powers, now we get into the high level Superman-ish type powers. So Marvel is stepping it up. And they're preparing for the new threats that's coming, new teams, new fashions, everything. So yeah, it's pretty good. Like I said, it's not a bad movie. It do set up a lot for what's coming forward.
A lot.
Yeah, Fantastic Four is probably going to do the same. So they on their shit.
They got it. I mean, remember I was telling you, if you remember the early stages of Marvel, those movies were just like these movies, and we was like, where is this going? It was just cool to watch these trailers, but those movies weren't that good. The first Thor, the first Captain America,
Captain America,
this shit
first
was
Iron
aight.
Man was alright.
These movies was alright. There wasn't a lot in the first Iron Man. Most of it was him in the basement talking shit to Jarvis. You really got to think about, like, we give too much credit to some of these movies. Yes, his acting and it was hilarious and it was good, but the movie itself, there wasn't shit happening. You know what I'm saying?
It was just tests. I looked at those as tests to see how it worked. Screen tests that actually became the films, and they had to test the waters. So would people go and see Thor? Yeah, people went and saw
people
it.
that watched this.
Okay. All right, well that's cool. All
So
right, well
we
let's
can do the
build the
Avengers.
story then. You know what I mean? Like let's go. Thor 2 wasn't that good, but then Thor Ragnarok, which I just saw recently, it's a pretty classic movie.
Yeah,
you know
that's where
they
he found his mojo.
Yeah, he found their real heart of the story and shit, and now they really propelled him for Infinity War and Endgame and shit. Now he's this ultra Thor character at this point.
He's another super, and then broken as fuck.
But they broke him down so tough. It's like, damn, even right now, it's like him, the separation of his brother and even his brother journey. You know what I mean?
Loki's journey,
he's a
yeah, that's
different-
another.
Yeah, he's a different god when they see each other. They're both going to be two different individuals when they meet, cross paths again, which
Yeah.
they will.
Yeah.
In Doomsday. I can't wait. Yeah, it's a lot of story, man. It's a lot of shit. We could talk about the MCU for days and hours and hours.
Clearly.
Right.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, so this is our take on this movie, The Thunderbolts, and just so you guys understand, the same way the Falcon and the Winter Soldier started out named that and ended as the Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
This movie starts out called Thunderbolts with the asterisk and ends with the title The New Avengers.
Yep.
So technically, this movie is the New Avengers.
Pretty much, and it's pretty good marketing how they did this. One thing though, man, they was marketing this movie way back in December, and I really hate when they do this. They throw out these little snippets and trailers and look at this fighting scene and all this stuff. I don't like seeing the movie before. I see the movie. You know what I mean? So when I do go to the movie, I like to see some surprises. Now, Bob Element was pretty good on how they kept everything low key about the Void and shit. But yeah,
The rest of it, yeah, they kind of. Well, see, I don't know because I don't remember a lot of those scenes being shown. I remember a lot of the goofy stuff that they were showing behind the scenes of like. That's what I was telling you with the marketing. Like I saw Red Guardian, he was pulling up in the limousine. The actor,
I saw that. Yeah,
they were driving around in that Red Guardian
real limousine
limo.
as the actor.
Yeah, pulling up to all the different premieres.
But I seen the scene with Bucky on the bike. I seen the scene with the fight scene when they all meet up in the incendiary and shit. It's certain things they was putting out to try to sell the movie, which they shouldn't do, man. Don't do this with Doomsday. Don't show no scenes, dude. Just tell us where to go.
Well, remember, what did they
One
do with
trailer
Avengers
together.
Infinity War and Endgame?
You know, make the fake trailers. I'll take the fake trailers.
Endgame
Make
pissed
the
me.
fake trailer.
Them Endgame trailers was bogus.
Because it was fake trailers.
It was the whole. It was the
lies.
first. It was the Endgame trailers were only the parts that were up to when they killed Thanos.
Yep.
In the beginning.
Yep.
That shit was
Infinity
crazy.
War, they had a whole fake trailer where Hulk was running with the army and shit on the
Yeah.
field. He was on the battlefield.
Yeah.
He made them fake ass trailers.
Set us
So
up
do
bogus.
that. I'll take it. So then my mind on something else, and then something
And then
else
you
happens.
get surprised. Surprise, motherfucker.
That's all. So I want to be surprised. That's all. But other than that, it was cool. And yeah.
Yep. So what's
It
next
is
on the
comic book
docket?
store day. Comic book
Yes.
store day weekend. So if it is a time to support your local stores,
Do it
this
now.
is the time to do so, or it was that time by the time you hear it. Hope you did go to some of your local stores to check out some comics and enjoy the festivities.
For sure. Yeah, stay tuned for more to come because there are more movies this year coming out that are really going to be on the conversation piece. There's a couple of series we need to talk about, so we'll get to that. And yeah, man, this is an interesting time that we're in.
Very much so, man. Little comic book drops. I did pick up the new issue of One World on the Doom. And Doom, the way they writing this shit is pretty dope, man. I mean, bottom line, they like, all right, well, fuck it then. We tried to embarrass them. We tried to outsmart them. Let's just go and fight them now.
Yeah,
and,
dumb.
And it's like, nah, I ain't gonna work either.
Because they got the new story arc for Doom out now, right?
Well,
I
pretty
forgot-
much, he's the fucking man. He's
Yeah.
the leader of the new world, and it's
He's
not
been
even
in it for
because-
the whole year. Remember I told you I needed Doom
Yeah.
to stay there?
But he's not mind controlling people. He's not doing any magic towards
No,
people.
he's just
He's
doing
not,
Doom.
He's just being Doom, being a real motherfucker. And it was funny because they was like, after the vampire invasion, after all this shit had went on, and these heroes be acting like they bigger than us and shit. They fight for their own rights instead of for the people.
Mm-hmm.
Doom presented himself as the man of the people. He want to protect the world. So they going along with this. So it's not even, it's like, you know,
They
you
not
voted that nigga
complaining.
in. Yeah.
So now you see what I'm saying about how they're going, how I think the Doom is gonna come in.
But Doom is still.
He's
like,
Doom. That's
come
it.
on, man.
He's
You
just
ain't going.
Doom. He's just
You
Doom.
ain't. There's an ulterior motive somewhere, and
No,
Doom fucks
Doom,
up.
Doom got what he wanted. He already got it. He ain't got
He
nothing
gonna
else to
fuck up somewhere because now he's gonna get challenged as a sorcerer supreme and Dormammu.
So what's that's the
up.
new story, the Books of Doom. That's the
Yeah,
new
the
story
Books
arc
of
with Ed
Dooms.
Brubaker.
Okay.
And Ed
But
Brubaker,
he's
I
doing
love
a
his
little
writing.
side shit, like he cured the Thing and shit. Like he ain't
Yeah.
Rockman no more.
Something that he always wanted, and he used to go off on Reed about.
Yeah.
Because Reed was like, you promised you was gonna do this, but this is more important. I'll get to that. And he was like, it's always something more important. It's always gonna be the next fight.
Because he knew he needed Thing for the fight. He the muscle, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Reed is calculating. He don't really care. That's his boy. If his boy don't want to be the Thing no more, then fucking heal him.
Nah, I need you on the ground.
That's
B.
fucked up, man. See, that's what I'm saying. Doom be paying attention to all that. That's why I say Doom is Doom. Yes, he be doing some shit, but he always has the right intentions, just the wrong reasons or the wrong method. The wrong method, but the right motivation.
Okay, the wrong method. I give you that. I give you the wrong method. I give you the wrong.
Doom
method.
is not a villain. Doom is just Doom. Doom is just Doom. He is the leader. He's the ruler of Latveria. And with that rulership,
with the iron fist.
Yeah, with that, no, because the people of Latveria love him. They do. The people of Latveria love Doom.
And he keep that shit protected. He's like, ain't none of y'all.
Yeah,
I'm
nobody.
in the world, but ain't none of y'all fucking with this shit over here.
Dude,
okay.
think about every version of the future in the Marvel comics. There's one place that's always there. Latveria. Them motherfuckers
protected.
It don't go nowhere. They do not fuck with
Wakanda
it.
Too.
Wakanda too.
Yeah.
But that's
you
that
got
in Old
Namor
Man
underwater.
Logan. Remember in Old Man Logan?
Yep.
Latveria, right there.
Latveria, right there, and was still untouched.
Untouched. They do not fuck around. Like
right.
That's where you gotta respect Doom, and that's why I'm saying Doom is just Doom. Do not do anything but categorize him as Doom. Doom is not your hero. Doom is not your villain.
But I don't trust Doom. You don't trust Doom either.
No, you don't. Well, no, you trust him to be Doom. I'm gonna say it again. Doom is just Doom. You trust Doom to be Doom.
So they had the bridge. They like he gotta be stopped. They don't know how, and even why he gotta be stopped. And
you don't know why. That's the problem because he hasn't done anything wrong yet.
Because even what's the daughter of not Franklin Richards? What her name? Valeria.
Oh yeah, Sue's daughter.
She even went to him and was like, "All right, so what you doing?"
He said,
"Make it a better place."
So what do you mean?
No, for real. Like, tell me for real, what you doing?
Yeah, because they got a relationship.
Yeah, they got a real relationship. So
yeah.
That's his daughter, pretty much. Man.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Nah, I really want to do this."
But that's all he ever wanted to do. That's all he ever. The thing. So you got to realize, this is Doom's mindset, right? Doom's mindset is what you just got through complaining with about Dr. Strange.
He don't regulate. He don't do what's right.
So Doom says the same thing, but does something about it. Nigga, give me that shit. You don't deserve this power because you ain't doing shit. Doom is not wrong. See what I'm saying? With Reed, what does he tell Reed? What does Doom tell Reed all the time? Doom tells Reed all the time, all your calculations, they're useless.
Calculations are off. Yeah, your calculations are off.
Doom is not wrong. Doom has never been wrong. During the whole the blood hunt.
The blood hunt, yeah.
Was Doom wrong?
No.
Dude, Doom is Doom. When he became God Emperor Doom, was he wrong?
In a way, yes.
What was wrong? If he didn't become God Emperor Doom, what would have happened?
He was having these motherfuckers doing shit out.
But why?
Huh?
Why? What did they do? They all had a chance. They all had a chance and they all fucked up. So Doom said, none of y'all deserve shit. Doom was right. He told Reed, I can't let you become what I know you're going to become.
Which is the maker.
Yeah, he said you cannot. Where your intelligence is gonna take you is a danger to us all. That's his whole point of why he don't fuck with Reed.
Yeah.
Because Reed is crazy and he know it.
He is the real crazy one. So
Yeah.
and he knew it from the start. Like, man, your ass crazy, dude. Like I keep telling you.
Stop doing these calculations. Stop calculating.
Stop it.
Everything is not for you to solve.
Right.
But the problem is that Doom and Reed are the same. The only difference is Doom actually cares about the people. Doom will subjugate the people and he'll give the people got free will. He didn't give the superheroes free will. And you know why? Because what would they do? Doom must be stopped. Why? Yeah. Everybody's eating. Everybody good. What are you gonna stop me for?
What is Doom? His name is Dr. Doom.
That's his real name. Like, what are you gonna do? He is a doctor and his name is Von Doom. You just gotta say the whole thing.
He must be stopped.
It's like, that's what I'm saying. This is why I'm gonna love when Doom gets in there, because Doom is gonna be that character. People ain't gonna know what like, he's not wrong. Half the time, the Avengers. Remember the time he went to the Avengers mansion and they started fighting him and they couldn't beat him, and then he finally said, "Are you done?"
Yeah.
And then he talked to them and said, "I came here to warn you because this shit is popping off and y'all wasn't even aware of it because y'all got your heads up your ass, and I'm here to help."
Yeah, right.
But if your motherfuckers need to calm the fuck down, like this is Doom. He will pull up
that's Doom.
and just tell them like, "I'm not here to fight y'all.
Y'all finished playing. Like,
Y'all can't beat me anyway. Like, what is really going on?
What the fuck is wrong with y'all?"
And Stark be like, "How did you break through my technology?" I'm Doom.
Because,
I got my own.
Don't worry about that shit. You stupid anyway, dude.
You're right. Like, you're not as smart as me.
You smart?
Like, you're not as smart as me. Like Doom don't. He helps. He just has his own way of doing it. He has his own way of doing it.
He always in the background. They always call him for help, and he make the choice if you want to help him or not.
No, I don't think I will. Because y'all remember the last time I tried to help? Remember that?
Yeah, y'all try to overthrow me and fight me and shit. So I'm good.
Y'all want to get me out of Latveria so you can arrest me? No.
Yeah,
like, no.
Y'all the Avengers. Go
avenge. Go avenge.
Yeah, go on avenge.
Yeah, Doom is gonna. That's what I'm saying. Doom is like very neutral. He's very neutral.
I hope they keep that.
He's unlawful. He's unlawful good.
Yeah.
He's unlawful because he don't follow nobody rules but his own.
Right.
But he still will do. He still has the best, and he really believes. And I kind of sometimes I agree. The Avengers need to be checked. They don't need to be a part of no Sokovia Accords. They just need to learn to mind their business.
Yeah.
Like you notice, they do not go to Latveria no more.
Well, they did this time, and they got treated real quick.
Yeah, and that's the last time they went to Latveria. They got treated. They don't fuck around. They learn. Don't go in Latveria. Don't go to Wakanda unannounced.
Into that thing like Latveria, he got that shit secure tight now. It's like spells, magic, shields, barriers,
and then Doom bots. You got
Doom bots, and oh my goodness.
And the people will stand with him.
That's true.
The people in Latveria will fight. And that's what's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you really want to get into Doom, you're getting into a characterization that is not done yet in the Marvel universe. The MCU hasn't had a character like this yet. He's very much, you want to root for him, but you know you can't. But then when you think you shouldn't, that's when he do the right thing and surprise you. And you're like, God damn it. You was right. Yeah. Doom is about to fuck the world up. He's about to fuck heads up. And I think that he will be Doom. One World Under Doom is like the Doomsday movie is going to lead to Doom ruling for at least one movie.
I see it. I can see that.
But not as a villain.
Doomsday.
He says Doom.
He's just going to be the leader, the tyrant, whatever the case may be, or what Doom is. I think Doomsday is going to show him in his full essence.
Yeah.
And whatever problem revolves.
Whatever immoral.
I still think Galactus coming. I still think Hulk is going to snap back into it. All these other problems are going to be issuing in.
And
we don't know what's going to come through that timeline. But I think he's going to be a problem too, because I think he's going to encounter Loki and get those motherfucking time. It's a lot going. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. So we'll see. I don't want to keep speculating and all that shit, but I'm just can't wait to see it. So everyone stay alive, stay healthy, so we can see this shit and enjoy the fruits of this nerd labor.
Fruits of nerd labor. Word.
Yeah, so super shout out to everyone tuning in. Everybody that's subscribing, sharing, checking out the clips, following us on Instagram. Yeah, we did do an out of theater reaction video that's doing pretty well too. So shout out to the folks who's tuning in and checking us out and being a fly on the wall.
There it is, a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Just wait.
But all right, y'all.
Any last words, sir?
Nah, I think we said everything that we need to say. Yeah, man, we love y'all. Say that more often to your peoples. Let them know.
Right.
Say thank you. You love your brothers.
Right.
You love your sisters. You love your family.
Yep.
Gang,
Yep,
gang.
yep. Gang, gang. We out. Fly Nerd Group, WFNG, Fly Nerd Radio.
Peace.
What you see is what you get.
WFNG.
Fly nerds. You see it and say it. Yeah, you see black excellence and intelligence we now combine. Fly nerds on the verge of connecting the minds. North, south, east, west over digital lines. Catalogs of the culture inside. Seen it with our own eyes. We done been through the trends and phases. The names and the legacy, the changing faces. We can't talk shop, only dealing the truth. You tuning in to the Fly Nerd Group, so let the peoples in. Yeah.
WFNG.
FNG.
Fly Nerd Radio.
Yeah, so let the people in.
WFNG. Fly Nerd Radio.